Hello, beautiful people. This video was created with the purpose of exposing test administrators, or TAs, to the directions and sample problems of the Cognitive Abilities Test, CogAT, to better help prepare them for administering the testing session. The main objectives of this video are to emulate the format of the CogAT practice problems, learn a new approach of thinking about the CogAT questions, and experience sample questions from the verbal, quantitative, and nonverbal batteries of the CogAT. This video should be watched prior to the testing session for ideas on how to introduce the test batteries or sections. It should not be used as the actual instructions. The wording is similar to the directions on the CogAT administration guide, but they are modified to show other ways to think about how to solve the questions on each subtest. This content should make the test easier to understand and less daunting for those administering the testing session to better know how to explain the directions. For the purpose of this video, the CogAT levels 13-14, grades 7th and 8th, will be used for practice. Let's begin. To answer the questions in this test, verbal analogies, figure out how the first pair of words go together. Then find the word that makes the next pair go together in the same way. Look at the sample question. The first two words are Wi-Fi and email. Wi-Fi is the necessary connection to access email. Now, look at the third given word, telephone. The answer must have the same relationship as the first pair of words. There must be a connection to access a telephone. A telephone is a phone, so that means it is the same thing. It does not have the same relationship as Wi-Fi does to email. A headset and speaker are parts of a phone, so that will not work either. A wire was the necessary connection to access the telephone prior to cell phones. The correct answer to this problem is choice A, wire. Look at sentence completion. To answer the questions in this test, read the sentence and the answer choices below it. Then find the word that makes the most sense in the sentence. The correct answer is choice E, agitated. Brandon becomes agitated when his younger sister makes too much noise is a sentence that makes sense. None of the other answer choices belong in the sentence. To answer this question from the verbal classification section, first decide how the first three words are alike. Then find the answer choice that is most like the first three words. Think about how these three words are alike. Petunia, mum, and rose are all flowers. Now read the answer choices. Look for the one that belongs in the same group. The correct answer is not flower. Flower is the name of the group. Look for an answer choice that belongs in the group, not the name of the group. The correct answer is daisy. A daisy is a flower, just like a petunia, mum, and rose are as well. Remember, find the name of the group and then choose the best answer that will fit in that group. Here is the number analogy subtest directions. Let's answer this next sample question. There are two numbers and an arrow between them in each bracket. The arrows tell us the number 1 and 4/10 to 4 and 2/10 follow a rule, and the numbers 2 and 13/100 to 6 and 39/100 follow the same rule. Let's look at this another way. Each number pair follows a rule. Something happens to the first number to get the second number. How do we go from 1 and 4/10 to 4 and 2/10? A rule that works for the first pair of numbers must also work for the second pair of numbers. The rule for this puzzle is to multiply by 3. The first number, 1 and 4/10 multiplied by 3, equals 4 and 2/10. When 2 and 13/100 is multiplied by 3, the answer is 6 and 39/100. The same rule works for each pair of numbers. Using this rule, what is the missing number in the third pair? Multiplying 3 and 15/100 by 3 equals 9 and 45/100. The correct answer is choice E, 9 and 45/100. To answer the questions in this test, figure out the rule that the first two pairs of numbers follow. Then use that rule to find the missing number in the third pair. Keep in mind that some questions may require the use of more than one rule, such as multiply by a number and add a value. Use your scratch paper to help you find the correct answer. Let's move on to number puzzles. Watch the following video to help you understand how to do these problems. Hello, beautiful people. We are going to solve the practice problem for Test 5 number puzzles. We need to find the question mark value. The question mark equals the diamond minus 2, but we don't know what the diamond is, so we go to the next row. The diamond equals 3 plus circle, but what is a circle? The circle equals 6. If the circle equals 6 in the third row, the circle in the second row will also equal 6. Then we can find the diamond. The diamond is 3 plus 6. So if the diamond equals 3 plus 6, the diamond will be equal to 9. Now what we do is we take the answer for the diamond, 9, and we put it into the first row. The diamond equals 9, so if that's the case, we put it in, we substitute it, and 9 minus 2 is 7. We found the missing value. The answer to this problem is 7. Here we have the number series test. Let's answer this sample question. Look at the series of numbers in the top row. What is the rule that the numbers in the series follow? For this type of question, find the pattern that connects the numbers. The pattern may be the same, such as adding 2 to the number before it to get the next number. Or in this case, you see the numbers are fluctuating from higher to lower. You must find a different pattern than a simple arithmetic pattern. The rule for this question is to add 1 and subtract 2 between each number as you progress through the series. 10 plus 1 is 11, 11 minus 2 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 minus 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 minus 2 is 7, then 7 plus 1 is your answer. The next number in the series is 8. 8 is the correct answer. Let's focus on the figure matrices test in the nonverbal battery. Look at the figures in the top row of the sample question. The figures in each matrix follow rules. One rule describes how the figures in every row are related. Another rule describes how the figures in every column are related. Look at the first and second rows. How are the figures in each row related? In this matrix, the rule for every row is to have the same shape. There is a different rule for the columns. Look at the first two columns. The rule is 2 dots going the same direction. There is a downward slope, an undefined slope or vertical, and a positive slope. Which figure completes the puzzle? Using either the rule for the rows or the rule for the columns, we find the missing shape is E, a circle with 2 dots following a positive slope. In the paper folding subtest, each question shows how a piece of paper changes when it is folded and holes are cut into it. Decide how the paper will look when it is unfolded. Let's look at this sample question. The first picture shows a square piece of paper. The arrow shows the paper being folded. In the second picture, shapes have been cut out of the square piece of paper. The last picture shows how the folded paper looks after the shapes have been cut. When the paper is unfolded, how many cuts will it have and what will they look like? The important thing to remember in the paper folding section is to think about how many layers of the paper are being cut through. The paper was folded in half, so there are 2 layers that are being cut. When the paper is unfolded, what will the answer be? For this question, the correct answer is D. The corner of the folded square was cut on the outer left side, so the edge of the square will be cut on the outer left side. The rectangle was cut on the right, so the new, bigger rectangle will be on the right side of the paper. Let's look at another example. Prior to that, though, it's important to note that to answer the questions in this test, first look at the pictures that show how the piece of paper is folded and changed. Then decide how the paper will look when it is unfolded. Just like the video shows, there may be times when only a section of the paper is folded down versus the full page. Just remember to consider the amount of layers of paper that are being cut. Here is a square piece of paper. It will be folded and changed. First, the paper is folded in half, creating 2 layers. Then the paper is folded in half again, creating 4. Then the small corner on the top is folded in. A hole is punched in it. How many holes will the paper have when it is unfolded? Because it went through 8 layers of paper, there will be 8 holes. What will it look like when it is opened? This is what it will look like when it is opened. Let's answer the sample question from figure classification. First, decide how the first 3 figures are alike. Then, examine the answer choices and choose the one that is most like the first 3 figures. How are these figures alike? Each figure has odd numbers on either side of the different letters. Now, look at the answer choices. Which one is most like the first 3 figures? The first figure is the only one with odd numbers with 2 different letters in between them. Choice A is the answer. It is most like the first 3 figures. In this video, the following were explained: how the CogAT practice questions are worded, a new approach to think about what the CogAT questions are asking, and sample questions from each CogAT battery. Watching this video should better prepare test administrators, or TAs, administering the cognitive abilities test. The directions are similar to the actual testing directions with a different interpretation of what is in the actual test. Again, this video should be used to inform the TA of how to better explain the directions to test takers. Hopefully this content makes the testing process go smoothly. For all the TAs watching this video, good luck and happy testing!